You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 6, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right. This is the regular meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board for Wednesday, December 6, 2023. I'd like to call this meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Dennis Britton.
Here.
Angie Deitch. No. Betsy Elsesser.
Here.
Laura Henderson. I am here. James Mellowitz.
Here.
Mary Nell Murphy.
Here.
Tim Wertner.
Here.
Dahlia Segas.
She's not here.
Not here. Okay.
I believe we have a quorum.
We do.
All right. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from November?
Yes.
Any questions or comments on these minutes? Any questions or comments?
No.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Secretary Treasurer's report and claims for November. Laura, you have the floor.
Here they are. I emailed them out. I have a couple copies if anybody did not get them.
I had a chance to look at them when I put them in my other portfolio and then didn't bring it, so I don't have any comments on what I saw. Anyone else?
No.
We have here that our tree fund donation fund has $338 in it. Let's see that. That's revenue totals. So that's not what it has in it. That's revenue totals. Expense totals $2,099. And apparently we are at $1,761 in the hole. So I'm not sure what all this $2,000 worth of expenses is.
Can you check with our city's financial department and find out what that is and report back to us at the next meeting?
Thanks. Yeah, from what I got on a meeting for the, I requested some of the ledger for the Arbor Day Tree City application, and there was a $414 for the nursery, and then the Beecher for like $76, and $128 for back in April for the tree board, boards, and that's all I see. And then
For the tree board boards?
yeah,
The signage.
the signage,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I see. I don't know what the 2,000.
Yeah, I don't either.
All right, well, Laura, if you could dig into that a little bit for us for the next
Okay.
month for our next meeting. And
Who is spending the $187,000 on tree removal?
We'll get there.
The city, not us.
yeah,
It's not our
that's
budget.
just
but-
the budget. I think it was expanded this past year. I think we had
It was.
100,000 originally and they added another.
Right.
All right, any questions or more comments on the claims for November? Do we have claims for November? I don't think we do we? Anything, just the report, budget report?
How could we go, did you say negative 2,000? I mean, so if there aren't claims, I don't know.
Maybe I don't understand this, but that's the tree, that's the donations fund.
Are we gonna talk about the tree removal later in the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Just reserve my questions for that.
I don't know.
I think maybe that came from the other side, which should not be charged to our donations fund. I don't think.
So, yeah, revenue, there's like, year-to-date, $205 dollars, and, for revenue grand totals. And then, it's 205 year-to-date, and then,
Because
and then
this number,
expense totals is
that number comes over, is the same as this number,
2,099
which is on the,
under expense totals.
yeah, that's the city stuff.
Yeah, most of the expense is just salary.
Yeah,
But it's not ours.
no, it shouldn't be
But-
charged against us,
No, I don't know.
against their donations fund. So-
No, it should not be against the donations fund.
So, I'll check on that.
Somebody made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments, concerns about the claims and treasurer's report? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, communications. Laura, do we have any communications?
Yes. We have something from Melina Blank of the Delta Institute organization. And she sent this to Tim, and she said, "Good morning, Tim. I saw that Michigan City got a grant with IRA USFS for an urban reforestation project. Congrats. We all know that trees make a difference. Thanks to so many co-benefits for communities." And then she quotes that Michigan City Urban Reforestation, this project will update the municipal tree inventory to include previously excluded areas, utilize the new data to create a comprehensive urban forest management plan, to remove all hazardous trees, prune every urban tree in their Justice 40 neighborhoods, and plant, mulch, and water 500 new trees per year throughout their community. Community members will be an integral part of our urban forest management plan, participating in tree plantings, listening sessions, and other key decisions. And then, that's her quote. Then she goes on to say, Delta Institute is working with municipal business and community partners in Lake County, Indiana, to expand regional forest canopy acreage via an innovative multi-community approach to comprehensive canopy mapping, forest planning, installing 2,240 plus trees, and expanding maintenance and capacity building. These efforts are achieved via a collaborative tree planting consortium structure with foundational inclusive community engagement throughout the entire process. I believe that both projects have a lot in common and that it would be useful to know more about our respective actions and discuss potential collaborations. Do you know who oversees Michigan City Urban Reforestation Project? Is it the tree board? Thanks, best, Melina. So,
I'm not familiar with the Delta Institute. Is that a business or a not-for-profit or what?
I don't know that they're not-for-profit, but they work with the sanitary district and the stormwater advisory group. So they basically run those meetings. In fact, there was a OSWAG meeting today, which I was unable to attend this afternoon. And it's a Delta Institute personnel who runs that. They've been doing it for some years with the sanitary district. So that's my only knowledge of them. I was unaware that they were involved in tree issues, but that ties into stormwater and urban runoff and everything else as well. So I can see where they would be involved. So this is the first I've encountered this aspect of them. I'm not that familiar with what they do beyond working with sanitary districts to help for their stormwater work.
I'm very curious, since they're active in Lake County, if they're working with SCA.
My thoughts exactly. And I also was wondering, I mean, if SCA doesn't do everything that we wanted them to do, if this group could
Delta Institute.
pick up the slack.
I think that's what this is doing, is fishing for opportunities with us, with the grant that we have. And we can certainly, with that amount of money we have, we get help.
Do you think we should invite him in to talk to the board?
I think what I'd probably like to do is I'll respond back to the letter and say, yeah, it's the tree board that's responsible for overseeing. We don't have an arborist at this point. We hope to have them very soon, and that we'll have our arborists get together with them and work out things.
Sounds good.
If that sounds like a good course of action at this point.
Or we
sounds
could
good to me.
have one or two board members to meet with him.
If you would like to be on the committee to meet with the Delta Institute, I think that would be
The
fine.
committee, that there's a committee.
If you want to have
There
someone else
is
work
now.
with you, there will be. Yeah.
I might be able to be on that
There
committee.
you go.
So
So
we have committee.
you and Betsy can work on that. Did you get that? I think I forwarded it to everybody.
I did get her the letter,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And
So you should have it too, Jim. I forwarded that letter to everybody
Okay.
when I got
it
it.
sounds
So
good.
we should, Betsy and I will contact
Contact her,
the
yeah.
Delta group
Yep.
and arrange
For
Well,
them to
have a
maybe
conversation.
we should wait until Tim sends the letter, the first response letter, and then,
Yeah, I'll just respond, and what I'll say is we're having a small committee set up to try to set up a meeting with you to talk about
Yeah,
it. Okay?
or maybe,
Then you guys can.
or give them my contact and ask them to contact me,
All right, I
right?
will.
that
will do
sounds
And
good.
then we'll work from
I
there.
will do that.
Okay.
And if they want to meet in Lake County, so much the better for me.
Yeah, really.
That's way outside my radius of travel.
Yeah, it's easier to have 65 than 31 or 421 though, isn't it?
Well, I'd like to know more specifics on what they've done.
It might be interesting to investigate
tree-wise,
that
Not just the
first,
stormwater.
before you,
It'd be a good resource.
Yeah, and the other thing that SCA was going to help us with was reaching the public
Right.
and the listening
Outreach and education.
sessions. That caught my eye
yeah.
because we definitely need help with all that.
True enough.
And maybe they're doing this in conjunction with SCA, and SCA is actually doing all that.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe, yeah.
Like, yeah, we need a lot more detail.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, well, I will respond to the email that indicates that we'll have James and or Betsy or both contact and try to set something up and
Great.
try to get more information. Okay, any other communications? Nope. Committee reports, do we have any committee reports?
Oh, I should mention, I think everybody saw the email from Dahlia, who sent some interesting information about what they're doing with trees in Loveland.
Oh, in Colorado, what she saw, yeah.
Right.
I don't know, maybe since we don't, do you have that in emails? Is that something we could read out at the meeting now as communications?
Oh, I didn't print it with me.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe print it out for next meeting and we'll
Okay.
add that to our communications for this past month. Okay, thank you. All right, committee reports, item 6.
I was going to mention the monthly farmers market, since, people might start filling out their 2024 calendar. If we just want to kind of put on our radar. And I think first Saturday is what we're leaning toward. I mean, we can nail it down as we get closer, but just to kind of keep that in mind.
And that starts in May.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in fact,
May 4th.
you're right, may the 4th be with
With
you.
you,
yes.
Again,
That
so,
would be good if we could sing that like during the same week that we have a meeting.
and on the 5th, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that Sunday is already on the books for the tree board giveaway, the tree giveaway.
Nope. It's both,
moved?
it's the 4th also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
So
4th.
that was the issue, that two things going on at once?
So Arbor
On the
Day is
same
not
day.
in April anymore.
Harbor Day will be in April, but
The tree board giveaway has, as long as I've known it, has been on the first day of farmer's market, which is the first Saturday in May.
Okay, so this,
The Earth Day extravaganza could not schedule back in April because it was already booked.
For the location?
Solid
this past year.
for both Saturday and Sunday.
So they're gonna
So
have their...
that's why they're having it on the 4th in the afternoon.
Okay.
And they are going to provide transportation for our trees from the farmer's market over to Krieger.
So Saturday the 4th in the morning, we'll have the tree board will have the farmer's market giveaway.
Yeah.
And then the Earth Day people will transport the trees to
Yeah, and
Kruger Park
we get to give them away there too.
that afternoon.
oh,
Yes,
all
okay.
on the same day.
Yes.
I don't know why I had
No watering them for weeks in
Good thing we
between.
didn't order 1,000 trees this year.
we haven't ordered any yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can
have-
order more, yeah.
Oh, do we not have a reservation with the DNR because they're already running out? of a lot of
No, we
stuff.
did order.
Thought
Yeah.
we did order.
We did.
did?
Before, because we had to have
I
by the end
actually
of the
ordered
month,
them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I forgot it was.
I ordered.
So the farmer's market begins at 8, is that correct?
Yes.
8 o'clock,
And the other event begins at,
1 o'clock probably.
Probably one.
Yeah.
I hope we have our DNR stuff reserved because my church, I ordered on behalf of my church a couple hundred seedlings for a giveaway, and they only had, out of my like top
They were running out of some
8
already.
choices, they only had one.
Yeah,
I was really surprised.
Yeah, they were running
yeah,
out
because I
fast.
made the order on the 2nd or maybe the 3rd day.
Okay.
3rd day. And already a
They
whole
were
lot of
running out
things
of
were
dates,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, I think.
That's why we're gonna
tree
get the
seedlings,
jump and do it on
Oh.
day 1 this year.
it's a good problem for the DNR to have.
It is, it is.
Any,
Okay, so will May be the first Saturday where, that the tree board attends the farmer's market?
yes.
Okay, all right, and so we can kind of pencil in the first Saturday until October?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
Throughout.
Any discussions of any Facebook issues from the public relations?
I did, from that to-do list, and Jim, I didn't mark down that you had done whatever it was on your to-do.
Yeah.
You had contacted for PR purposes.
Yeah, I want to talk about that in a minute.
Okay. What on my to-do list was to post something on the spotted lanternfly, and I did that. That's on our site, and I think we're still holding at about 91, followers. It's hopefully with the new arborist that'll kick up, and we can have some announcements about that. That's all. That's really all I've got on Facebook.
All you people out there, come see our Facebook site. Follow us.
Yeah, really.
I think there was something else I was to post on there, and I did. Oh yeah, Arbor Day poster contest, and the theme is oak trees. So yeah, those two are up on the Facebook page.
Great. Thank you. Just talked about the tree giveaway and the dates. Grant update for the,
Wait a minute,
Let's go back to that. Yeah.
back to public relations.
Oh, okay.
All right, press releases.
Yeah.
So I emailed out a press release to everybody I could think of, all the organizations I could think of. The Beecher, the Laporte paper, several radio stations, TV stations, or whatever the media are that cover this area of the state, and I did not receive a response from anybody. Okay, and I have no idea if anybody ran anything. Would you?
I have a follow-up to that, so finish your statement.
So if anybody has connections with these media in terms of knowing specific people to bring their things to their attention, that would be helpful in the future, because I don't know if I'm just sending stuff off into a void and they're overwhelmed with press releases and they just have no interest in the tree board. But I was really surprised that
Yeah.
when a board like this gets a grant like we did, that from a
Big
news standpoint, that is news
Yeah.
in a town of this size. It should be covered. So, and I sent it to, like a paper, I sent it to multiple people. I sent the editor, the managing editor, the reporter. I mean, everybody that I could find, I would email them a copy of the press release.
And I hadn't seen anything,
So maybe this, I'm gonna have to come up with a new strategy, I think. which
Well, the
maybe-
other thing is we are in a state of flux with getting a new administration in and hopefully an arborist and that,
Well, it goes back to marketing 101, which I've never been particularly good at, but a little bit of personal connection with somebody at those organizations would probably go a long way toward the future. So I'm thinking
One
phone
place
call.
to start is talk to Drew White.
Yeah.
He's worked with Beecher, so.
Okay.
and
Excellent.
He'll know people.
Maybe a
Yeah.
call to the editor, say, hey, I'm going to come in for coffee, talk about the tree board, let's get to know each other a bit, we have some news, just for future reference type of thing.
So after the meeting, we'll run and see if Drew's here. I don't know if he's
Good.
here today since he usually pops in.
Beecher.
Because I'm really surprised the Beecher wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm surprised
I mean, they
too.
got,
News
they got the
Dispatch
knitting
before,
club,
he was a
for God's
sports,
sakes. So,
worked at the News Dispatch too, so.
nothing wrong with knitting clubs, but our news is a little more important.
Jim, do you happen to know what the date was that you sent those things out?
It was right after our last meeting,
Yeah,
right?
it was pretty shortly thereafter.
After I think it was
First or
after our
second
last
week of-
meeting.
yeah, first or second week
Learned
of
about the
November.
grant, we discussed it. And
Okay. Any other public relations press release? None, okay. Over to grants.
Dennis has something.
Oh, yes, Dennis.
That's okay.
No.
Per the discussion last time, I called and left a message with WEFM. They called back. They said to send a letter or an email to the station manager, which I did. I sort of mysteriously and temptingly alluded to a sizable grant that we received to be administered over the next 5 years. Our function and our activities, we would like to make regular announcements to the community to engage them with our board. So I am now waiting to hear back from the station manager. So, and if need be, I've dropped by there before casually. I remember me, I sent you. So I've for the Friendship Gardens, I've been on their program a couple times. So I think we will hear from them, but it's the end of the year, which I think is also part of the problem with sending anything out at this time. Once you hit Thanksgiving, people just
So this was before
This was prior.
Thanksgiving.
This was a couple weeks prior to Thanksgiving.
I'm just saying
Ready,
that
Because
But
Happy
you
holidays.
may be right that January and February will be a lot slower news-wise.
Yep.
It might be more
absolutely.
receptive.
No, I'm aiming for the first part of January to
Hit him again.
something
Yeah.
out there.
Yep, good, thank you.
Arbor Day.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, so I sent out to you all, I was very pleased. I had asked the city controller for some reports on tree expenses, and she got them back to me within 24 hours, which is great. So I'm getting through, I've got a few more entries based off of those to enter in this online application, and the due date is the end of the year, 12/31. And I also reached out to Dahlia, who was, filled them out for, I don't know, since time began.
Yes.
And she's been helpful. So that's coming up. And in so doing, then, because we have to submit how much money the city has spent on tree planting and how much on tree removal. And so as I noted, it's I found zero on tree planting, so I will put the expense that we had, around $400 for the tree, Villanova Nursery for the tree giveaway. Last year was $1,500, and then last year was $99,000 for tree, pruning removal, and this year $187,000. So 0 on tree planting, basically,
Well-
187 on tree removal.
We got free trees from Community,
Right.
but there's a value there.
Yeah.
So even though we didn't spend it,
Mm-hmm.
we did plant, we obtained for planting.
Yeah, they allow for a dollar amount. There's no asterisk.
I'm
with explanation.
wondering,
I hear you. I mean,
I think those
Yeah, I think, yeah, it certainly
at
is,
least $50 a piece.
at least.
Not 100.
Yeah, I'd say
does the
150
application
planted.
require that it be out of the city budget? Or does it just mean like
Just what this.
what was spent
Spent,
or what is the value? I mean, there's a lot of different ways they could
include
ask that.
cost of tree purchases, labor and equipment for planting,
And see, we have.
Planting
a lot of-
There was
materials.
definitely some labor.
mulching.
Yeah, and volunteer labor should count. There-
Donated.
And
mulching.
donations
Yeah, we have the
of
donation
labor,
of value.
donations
Yeah.
of
So
mulch.
what seems a reasonable number then?
I'm trying to think what we had number-wise for the previous year for donations and that. The bags of mulch, we got 20 bags of mulch and they're $3.50 a piece, if I remember right.
At least.
The vehicle mileage for picking up and delivering of the trees and digging the holes and that, I'll get that from Clay.
And then the volunteer.
And I'll know the volunteer hours for the
Right.
planting day. I've got those numbers from the previous year. I haven't ever gotten those to Jen Birchfield yet. I gotta get that information for our prior years.
Last year, we submitted 20 hours of volunteer time from civic organizations.
Yeah, that's probably low.
It is probably low. Well, I'll say too, though, I mean, I think we put in reasonable numbers and, you know, they're not gonna reject us, you know, but this is very helpful. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The Forest Service grant, the information that was requested for the modification of the budget to fit with the actual amount was given to the Forest Service, Drew Hart. I have not heard back from him.
Oh, I'm
yet.
surprised. Okay.
Yeah, I meant to contact him, but it's like, he's already got it. He's already
Right,
back and
yeah.
received it. So I know he's busy with a bunch of grant recipients.
Sure,
so
sure.
I'll just assume that he's
Uh-huh.
got us on the list, and if we don't hear from him in the next week or two, I want to make sure we get everything in his hands by the end of the year. That was the deadline. So if he needs something else from us yet, I want to make sure. So
Well,
I will
if you wait a
follow up
week
with
or
them.
two, you'll be right up on Christmas.
That's
so
right.
you might want to
yeah.
call
So
him sooner.
I
But
will. If I don't hear from him by this time next week, I will follow up with him again. I just don't want to be a pest.
I think you should be best.
All right. Well,
But not a spotted Atlantic fly.
if you want to contact him, I'd be a pest. You're welcome to. I don't want to tick off somebody who we may be asking for more money from.
Right. Okay, sounds good.
And he was pretty good at getting us a pretty good chunk this time.
Yes.
So,
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Tree City designation coming soon.
That was the Arbor Day. I kind
Yeah.
of stepped in on Arbor Day stuff.
Last item on the committee reports, Arbor Search Committee, recommendation of Board of Works. We interviewed a candidate on the 16th of last month. I imagine all the people who were in on the interview have had a time to mull it around in your head and kind of feel like what we wanted to do. And I look for everyone, at this point, I'd just like to ask for a motion to move that candidate forward to the Board of Works.
Yeah, I so move.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have the letter here for us to sign, and
Okay.
yeah, I've got one here for us all to sign. So if you want to pass that around, I'll get it copied and emailed off to everyone on the list and get that recommendation. And I don't remember when the next Board of Works meeting is. I think it's next week, isn't it?
I don't
It's
know why the
first and third.
First and third
Monday.
weeks. Oh, okay.
And remember, Ty Tanisha George wanted to be informed of our decision if we advance the candidate.
Okay.
After all, she found his name at the bottom of a pile somewhere, so.
Yes.
So did you say the Board of Works meets on the first and third?
Yeah.
Mondays.
Mondays? Okay, so that means December 11th. You know, today's the 6th, so they will meet December 11th.
Yeah, and I do recall that's why I wanted to try to have that signed and approved today so they could
Yes.
get that in and get that on their agenda before the 11th, so,
Will they actually interview the candidate again?
yes.
But first they will, I don't, are they gonna call him up for an interview that night?
I think that's what they'll do if they have time to get that set
And
up.
once they receive
They
this,
have to,
then I
they have to
see,
do an
gotcha.
executive session since it's a personnel issue, so
Okay.
they'll do an executive session either before or after the meeting.
Okay, all right.
Do that.
Well, good, that's moving ahead.
That's great.
So, thank you, everybody, and I'll get that off to everybody, including Tatanisha as well, tomorrow morning.
Good, thank you.
Tonight yet.
Great, excellent.
I think I said the name wrong. Tatanisha.
Tatanisha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close.
Oh, my agenda, here we go. We do not have item 7 because we don't have arborists, so we'll
Right.
skip to old business. Is there any old business that we need to rehash? Any old business? Hearing none. Any new business? Anybody have anything new they want us to sink our teeth into?
We have enough old business that we're sinking our teeth.
All right.
Well, I don't know if this is old or new, but I'm still, I could not quite find
Oh,
the Michigan City tree ordinance or whatever it's attached to. It must be online somewhere.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's not labeled that as such. I think
Okay.
there's various subsections.
Yeah,
And in
it's
fact,
kind of all over the place.
what I did is I copied that because they request that as well for the Arbor
Yes.
Day Tree City application. I'll send you what I'm sending them for.
Okay, I'd appreciate that.
And I think one heading is about care, one is about, you know, maintenance and removal and so on.
All right. Well, this is something I'm very interested in. And I got something from Tree City USA about how to write a municipal tree ordinance or,
Oh,
In
very
the
good,
one
very
you
good.
have.
Yeah.
Sounds like
and
we got
then I
committee
attended
position
a
for it, doesn't it?
webinar.
I think she is
What, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what?
definitely gunning for another.
As you said, it sounds like another committee position for you.
Well, I'll take it on because I'm really
Yeah.
interested
Yeah.
in this.
Excellent.
I just attended a 2-hour webinar from the Chicago Trees Initiative, and they were on that topic, and the title of the webinar was "Don't Get Stumped." And I guess they were discussing that different municipalities have different levels of protection for their urban canopy, and some of them are quite minimal, and some of them, like in Wilmette, Illinois, for example, where people can afford to pay big fines,
Or Lake Forest.
or Lake Forest, and there's history.
We remember Mr. T and
Well,
that
the
situation.
Mr. T incident caused that town to write a tree ordinance, and the typical tree ordinance involves permits, a permitting process, an appeals process, and very often some kind of fines. If somebody like takes down a major healthy tree in without any kind of permission. And in several of these municipalities, the fines are paid to the tree board. So that would be a nice feature.
Yeah, it would be a nice feature. That could take care of our $5,000 debt.
You know, I think that
Certainly
Dahlia
it was
was talking
enforced.
to.
Yeah.
Next on the list.
Yeah, well, I think just about any tree ordinance can be clarified or
Oh, yeah.
defined or publicized, because people take down trees and that even if there is a
An ordinance,
permitting
something, yeah.
ordinance, they're like, well, I didn't know. So developers have to be aware of this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it part of the zoning?
It is part of the planning and zoning.
There's two things. There is a tree board ordinance, and then there's a part of the planning and zoning thing which was passed a couple of years ago.
Okay, here we have Michigan City Tree Board.
And there's a part,
It tells what.
there's a section in there, which I have
but that
found
does
several
not have
times,
the-
and I'll find it again and
That
say.
is our duties and responsibilities.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But she's talking about,
The ordinance for tree protection.
Hold on. Can we just have one discussion, please? I can't follow two.
Okay, I'm just saying that we haven't been informed of any of these kinds of incidents. The ordinance does make exceptions. You know, you don't have to get a permit to remove a dead tree if it's completely dead.
There's actually a lot of exceptions.
Well, yeah, and that's for
All conifers are accepted.
example. If you have an invasive species like Jim's favorite
Tree of Heaven?
tree of heaven, that you don't need a permit to take out one of those.
thank goodness.
But the idea is healthy trees are to be protected, and native trees, and I mean, a lot of people just say, "Oh, it's a this tree is a hazard."
Yeah.
Yeah, if dead trees provide habitat too, I know at NDOT
Well,
we have
that's
a hard
true.
time with removal of trees certain times of year for roosting of different animals
Yeah,
and birds and things. So there is that. I don't think that is an issue in our municipal ordinance, but as a state, our right-of-way limitations for tree removals, even if dead, are
Does
very
our
limited.
municipal ordinance require an arborist to look at the tree before a permit is written?
Probably not.
Because that's
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know for
wouldn't
sure
say-
either.
Yeah.
Well, when we get an arborist, maybe we could work that in.
Certainly is something to look at. Yeah, and if you get Betsy copies of the ordinances you have, she can certainly
Yeah.
look through that.
Both, I will. What I'm realizing is that what I have found relates to the tree board, but there's nothing on there that hasn't been updated since 2001.
Yeah.
What you're talking about that was updated a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
that's in a different section.
It is.
in
Right.
plan.
It is.
But I think that's key to this discussion.
But I think it's what you may be referring to when you
Right.
say a tree ordinance. Which it's not a tree ordinance, it's a
It's
something
just part of the overall planning and development ordinance. Yeah.
landscaping.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to work on that. It might take the rest of my term or longer to do that.
That's what Skylar was in here talking about several months ago, right? He was talking about Skylar, your.
You're the planner,
Yes.
yes.
Yep. That's a nice
You know more
segue.
about it than we do.
That's a nice segue. Are you?
I'm finished, thank
Are you
you.
finished? Segue into the rest of your term. Just looking at our, what the city website says about our board, we have a number of terms that are going to be expiring this year or next year that will have to be discussed with the new mayor. And just to remind everybody,
Okay,
Mary,
good.
your term is up in December,
Like, as in this month?
this month, 12/4/23.
Wow. So
What are you doing here?
Do we have a quorum?
I'm gonna go with I have a grace period?
Well,
I don't know, do I?
If you haven't been replaced, you're still in.
this is according to the city website, okay?
Gotcha.
And then Betsy and Dennis and myself all expire on July 1. Laura's expires on February 15th, but she is a council appointment for the neighborhood thing, so I don't know how that works. And so Dahlia is in 2025 and Timmy are in 2025. So there are a number of things that the new mayor will need to address
Yep.
with regard to our membership.
I'll have a discussion with her. My wife is contacting me. one thing is we're on that as far as board membership too. Our meeting next month, the first thing we need to do is elect officers, nominations and elections. So we'll need that on the agenda for the very first meeting of the year for
Okay.
the New Year's officers, nominations and elections and such.
Is it possible that we can get, I assume you're going to want to be reappointed, Mary?
At least to be on the board, not necessarily in office, but let's just go with that.
Okay, but-
But yeah, that needs to
Is
get
it
taken
possible
care
to get her
of.
reappointed before the end of the year?
Hi.
You,
That was like that Shakespearean
Aside,
side, yeah.
I missed my cue.
Well, as I recall, our fearless leader here met with us beyond your last expiration date.
By hours, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, by
hours,
okay.
yeah. So no, it's, this time of year, things are very busy for everybody, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you've got an administration change at exactly the same time that you have terms expiring.
If,
So
I have a question. If the mayor reappoints somebody, does that appointment have to be approved by the council once again? Or does it just kind of continue on since you've already been through
I don't know.
the council approval process?
I would think it would need to be approved by the council again, once there's
I think so.
an end of a person's being on the council, or on our board and being renominated. It's gotta be reapproved again, so.
also, the council has changed themselves.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
different directions maybe they wanna have, so yeah.
Fresh young blood.
Yep.
So Tim, will you be discussing this?
Just
Yeah, I'll talk to
The incoming.
about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for, and yeah, James, thank you for checking on
Look at
that. I
that,
didn't know
yeah.
that was that close. For me, and when I say that close, I mean in the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Time traveling here.
so we don't really need to talk to this person who's not really on the board anymore.
I'm glad you had a quorum beyond me.
Okay, any other old business? Hearing none, any new business now, or any new business? New business? No?
Betsy?
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention in communications, and I did forward it to everybody, I think. There's an advanced tree steward workshop on January 8th,
Which is a Monday.
which is a Monday.
Is it an all-day thing?
I think
I
so.
think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't,
Kind of an odd
can't
time
make
of the
it.
year to be
yeah.
in the field.
I do Meals on Wheels on Mondays unless something changes, yeah.
I think I could probably teach that seminar, so
You probably
I'm
could.
not planning to attend this
Yeah.
one.
So, anyway,
Oh,
all right.
I will.
Yeah, I did see that email. and-
Thank you for
Nope,
sending
I
that.
can't.
Oh, one other thing that I
yeah.
have worked on or will work on is updating the job description for the city forester / arborist.
Great.
Yeah.
And I think that would, I took the existing one and tweaked it already. We never voted on it because I got the impression it's somebody else's call to take care of that, so, but I think that if we made a few changes, it would make
A dramatic improvement,
a
yeah.
dramatic improvement in the field of candidates.
Yeah,
And I didn't change it to require the candidate to be a certified arborist. I wrote certified arborist preferred.
yeah.
And
I agree with you, Betsy.
Yeah,
I think we definitely need to follow through on that because otherwise we're going to be in the same morass down the road.
Right.
If this forester arborist should leave and we're back.
Back in
well,
square one
we're all
again.
limited on this earth, but so who knows when the next round of interviews will take place. Not for a while, I hope.
I hope.
Hopefully so.
And And there were a few other things in there that were just like experience operating a bucket truck,
Right,
Yeah.
you know.
right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's for central services to do, not for arborists, yeah.
Right, and one or two other things.
So, okay, so just to understand, what's the next step then with regard to changing this then, Tim?
I would like to know.
Well, I would think we come up with a draft and then present it to the mayor and see where we go with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
let-
think the next step on a lot of these is we wait for the new mayor.
Right.
Well, but I think in the
place.
meantime, I think we should circulate it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can read it, what you've written, and yay or nay on it.
I think you've already sent it out.
I did, but I'll do that again.
That would be
Yes.
excellent, thank you.
And let's put it on the agenda for next
Refresh.
month.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll need at least 6 copies.
discussion of revised
Do I
job
need to
description.
make same number of copies of the old job description, or can you all just read
I
it?
think we can read that.
I think we
one.
can.
Just read it.
And maybe I'll highlight the.
That would be excellent.
Yes.
Okay, that would be
Highlight the changes, like do a review copy so
Yeah.
we can see what's being
Oh, yeah.
changed, I think.
Awesome.
Okay,
Track their changes, yep, if you can do it in Word or whatever.
Yeah.
well, I'm not too techie, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah, just some way that we know it's different.
Okay.
Here's what I'm taking out, here's the new in red.
That's a really, that's
Well,
a
I can
really
always
good
use a
point.
good old highlighter.
Yep,
Yes,
Well, these are, I'm really glad that you have an interest in these things with regards to the forester position as well as the tree ordinance, because those are sort of the nitty gritty stuff that we end up returning to over and over again, the board, as, you know, as business comes up, and if it's not done right the first time, we are always confronting problems, and
Well, I think this is what I can contribute, you know, with my arborist
thank you,
experience.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably have more experience going to classes than doing the actual work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's gotta be there.
all right, great.
I have two things.
Is this a comment from board members or is this, okay, then, hold on then. So, moving to item 10, comments from board members, and we'll start. Betsy,
I've made my
comments,
comments,
okay.
thank you.
Now, Mary, please.
I should have brought this up when we were doing the minutes, it's just informal, but I know on the committee reports from the last November minutes, it said, motion to appoint Mary for ordering the arbor tree giveaway trees. I think that may have been for the Arbor Day application. I said I would do the application. So that's, I'm just gonna move ahead with that, and that's just kind of.
I thought it was for the ordering the tree.
From the Arbor Foundation?
No, not from Arbor Foundation.
Because you ordered the tree. This is
Yeah, it's
November.
from, well, let's see what she says. For Arbor Tree giveaway, but you're ordering the trees from DNR.
You ordered them though. You already
I did the last one, but what I've
going
brought up,
forward.
yeah, going forward.
But when is the deadline? Or when can you begin ordering?
It's usually around the 1st of October.
Okay, well, the whole world's gonna look different by then, hopefully, especially with a new arborist in who might do
Yeah,
that.
that's what we would
Okay,
anticipate.
but this is helpful to clarify. So I'm gonna put like, you know, in September, I'm gonna put a big,
Yeah.
reminder about, yeah.
Where we're
But
at.
that's very helpful, okay. Oh, and then I just also want to clarify when I said what we need to do is wait until there's a new administration in place. I mean, because we haven't been getting feedback on the changes that we wanted on this. That's fine. We can try a different approach when there's a new mayor. Just want to clarify.
Yep,
Exactly when does that occur?
January 1.
Oh,
yeah, January 1. Here's all.
Yeah,
all-
so 12/31, I mean, it's not like the presidential where there's a,
parade,
Yeah,
right?
parties.
the new people come in, get sworn into office, and away they go.
is there an inaugural ball for the bear?
I think there will
Sure
be,
not.
but it might not happen till the spring or something, yeah.
Yeah.
So is there, like, is it January 1, is City Hall open?
January 1, most people get sworn in. So
Really?
they'll come in.
I think it'll be January 2.
I
don't know.
Most of them do it in one.
Okay.
I know town of Cherville did it in one.
Okay,
St. John did it on January 1.
I'd be shocked.
I did hear this morning in conversation that someone who should be sworn in on the 1st will be out of town. So,
So they usually come in, do it quick, and then everybody heads back to bed.
Okay, and that's a Monday this year. It's January 1 is a Monday.
Some do it at 12:01.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like the Harry Potter films, okay.
Anyway,
Sorry.
That's just
Yeah.
Laura, yes.
No, I'm done with my
Okay.
comments. Thank you.
Laura, any board member comments? I guess for me, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
That's nice.
Happy New Year to everybody, and it's been a wonderful year, so thank you.
yeah.
My only comment is to encourage and thank Dennis for following up with this radio station about the talk show, and suggest that as you follow up on that, perhaps we could think of that with an eye towards something in late April before we do the tree giveaway on May 4th to get some
Good
publicity
idea.
Yeah.
and get some exposure on that.
Yeah, I would consider that well before then, though. Maybe beginning of March,
Yeah,
to get
well-
people primed.
Whatever you can
Yeah.
arrange, but I mean, staying on that, because that we could become a regular fixture on that show.
Sure.
And if we have a new
My
arborist
plan.
installed by
Yes,
then,
yes.
that would be a great introduction.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
And we could also, not just WEFM, but also WIMS.
Yep.
I've never done work with them. You say they have their.
No, you
I'm
can't
starting
do
at
that.
7 in the
There'll be
morning.
2 more. No,
on.
6 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't think you're on that
We'll get
committee.
some real avid listeners from that.
I'm sure they play it over and over at different times.
And it goes on
That's,
Facebook.
that's all I have, yes.
Dennis?
Okay. Yeah, a couple things. Yeah, I do plan on following through regularly with WEFM, and I've had some loose association with them. Since I am in town, I would be willing, if you can send me that notice that you send out to people. I also have some contacts at Beecher, so I can show up and say, hi, I was in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if you ever got this. The other thing too that I wanted to consider in regard to not just being on the radio, but like in maybe late March, give or take when Easter is, once people start seeing things blooming or coming up, they start getting that urge. And I was thinking of holding something at the library, sort of a kickstart kind of thing where, you know, this is where we're beginning the growing season, and then meet the tree board and understand what our policies are, meet our new, you know, urban forester, et cetera, et cetera.
Bring your tree questions.
Yes.
Answer tree questions.
Yeah.
I might have a
Whatever.
couple, I have a couple of dogwood trees in pots I could
Yeah.
even bring if they
Sure.
survive the winter
Show and tell.
to something
Yeah.
like that.
Because that really gets us sort of on the map, and it's a good thing that people can bring their kids to. It's a whole community kind of thing, and you know, a Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Sure.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Just as a quick follow-up with our friend Don Briggs, who had a concern about a cherry picker bucket truck kind of thing, and I returned to him saying, you know, that's not really something that we're in charge of, and he didn't take no for an answer and say, look, Don, you know, you have to go someplace else. I can find out where you could go, and I could tell you where to go.
But that's
He
not our
wanted us-
That's
alleyway.
not.
Is this the guy who wanted us to buy one with the grant money?
Well,
Yes.
the guy was bellyaching because he was working on the block and everything. We really need a new bucket truck, and you know, it's like, yeah, I'm sure we do, but
Yeah, write your own grant.
yeah, it's like, think of it this way, Don. I said, think of it this way: you came into a Chinese restaurant and you asked for pizza. Now it's not your fault you asked for pizza, and it's not our fault
We don't
that
have-
we're a Chinese restaurant. Ain't gonna happen.
All right.
Right.
Any comments from the public? Any comments from the public?
Scares.
Comments from the public? Hearing none. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024, right here at the Same location at 6:30, I'm assuming, same time. Do I have a motion to adjourn this fest?
Motion.
Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good night.
Happy New Year.
Next time we meet, it shall be a new year.
Yes.